coming in early, enrolling early, and seeing the field so quickly?
It's been good, just like knowing coaches have faith in me and like to go out there and like produce. So it's been good so far. I feel like, yeah, it's been good.
Was that I know you were recruited by Coach Betts, but was that something that maybe he brought up? Is seeing the field early for you, or is that just something that kind of materialized when you got here?
Oh yeah, the first thing he told me, he was just like, "Oh, I could see you playing early and stuff." Like he was talking about how like K2 played early. He was like, "I could see just how K2 play early. You could play early too." So that's one of the things brought up when he recruited me.
Did you anticipate being at this point? Let's say looking back a year, did you think you'd be, playing significant minutes for a Big Ten team?
I didn't at all because after my junior year, I only had 2 offers and really like not really good offer. So like yeah. So I didn't really think that I would be here, but I'm glad God gave me the opportunity to be here.
We don't have to list those schools that weren't the good offers, but talking about Iowa and getting those offers, I mean, what kind of talk me through your journey getting to Iowa, getting noticed by them, and how you ended up here.
So my senior year begun, and after like the first 2 games, I started talking to Coach Betts, and like he told me like it's gonna be slow. His recruiting's gonna be slow, cause he just wanted to see more out of me. So like after a couple of games, I kept sending him film and stuff, and then after the 6th game, he offered me finally. So then I came for a visit, and then everything just started flowing after that.
What were your first 6 games like that managed to get that offer? What were you doing, like 200 yards a game or something?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it was crazy games. It was like 3 touchdowns a game, 150 yards, all purpose, catching out the backfield, playing receiver, kick return, stuff like that.
Why do you think you went under recruited?
Probably I didn't do too good my junior year. My That's why I had to transfer out of that school because I don't think I got as much like opportunity at that school. But I transferred out and I started like blowing up after that.
You were teammates with Grayson Littleton, right? Do
Yeah.
you think maybe a little bit of that exposure helped out?
Definitely, cause Grayson, yeah, that's my boy. So he helped me out with a lot of stuff, cause he was highly recruited. So like he talked to coaches for me and stuff like that too. So yeah.
So were you always convinced you could play at this level once you got playing in high school? Did you think you were capable of this?
Yeah, I always know I could play at this level of like competition, but I just needed other people to see that too.
What's it been like kind of getting an opportunity to get on the field, but also seeing Kamari and Xavier and Patterson get their opportunities as well and like learn from them a little bit too?
Yeah, it's been like helpful to learn from other guys like that actually play too, and that like produce too. So like it's just good to know that like I could learn off people and also like play too with them.
And then with so many injuries to the running back room, how has Coach Lester been able to help you feel comfortable and confident while you've kind of taken on a much larger role than maybe you would have anticipated?
Yeah, he talks to me. He talks to me before some games, and just like am I ready? Like just talks me through like some stuff too. So it's just like he very helpful with that, and just like knows that I could do it. So he doesn't really do too much, but he just talks to me a little bit.
When you weren't getting as many looks recruiting wise, what kept you going?
My faith in God, for real. Just knowing that like he got me wherever I go, that it'll be because of him.
What's it like standing in front of the cameras like this? Out here with us.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah. Didn't get this in high school, I suppose.
I got a little bit, but not too much, not like this.
Can you evaluate where your room is at right now?
Like, what do you mean?
Just in terms of consistency, efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, we could always be better, but I feel like we're always growing every single day, getting better. We never stop getting better, so it's just like from the first game to now, I feel like we got better a lot. So
What are you expecting from Wisconsin in Madison?
I expect it to be a good fight, but I know we're gonna go out there and do what we do, so it's not gonna be too much.
Committing to Iowa and committing to Coach Betts and then having a new coach when you get here, what was that like? Was that kind of like, I don't know, surprising? How was that for you?
It was tough at first, just like I didn't really see that going like that, but the new coach Omar Young came in. He was great from the start to now. So like it's been easy because he made it easy. But yeah.
How did he make it easy?
Just by like first when he came here, he talked to everybody. He was like how he runs stuff and stuff, and then like after that first meeting, I could tell like he knows what he's talking about. Like just by off of everything he does, coming from the NFL, just talking about like the little things. So that's what I liked about him.
How was the bye week for you, and what did you guys focus on?
It was good. We just focused on like the things that we couldn't get right in those first couple games, and mostly like just staying consistent in what we do. You know, like just working on the run game and pass game and all that. Like,
What were some of those things you saw from early in the season that you're working to fix?
um, consistency out of the backfield, just like not getting 1 or 2 yards, but actually breaking through, getting 15, 20.
Lester was telling us you guys were running a lot of plays, particularly early in the bye week, to really work on some of the depth chart players and things like that. How did that kind of extra rep during the bye week help get you more comfortable and more confident heading into this week?
Yeah, it gave me more confidence that like I know what I'm doing when I play. So like just those extra reps, getting like extra, just made it easier to play.
Do you feel like you're getting used to the speed of the game a little bit more and the physicality needed?
Yeah, I feel like I've been used to it, kind of like cause I got here in January, so like all that spring and like the fall and all that, I feel like just helped me even more get used to it. So now I'm just like I'm ready to play.
Did you have like a welcome to the Big Ten moment, like in practice or a game or anything?
I did one time in practice. I was running to the end zone and I got hit, like while I was going to the end zone. It was a good hit. It was a big hit. But yeah.
Who was he?
Kyler. Yeah, he hit me. Yeah. Yeah.
So you came in January, so I assume you left high school early, like that semester.
Yeah.
Was that tough? I mean, it's the non-traditional route in high school, but was that hard to kind of leave, your classmates and stuff a semester early?
For some people it would, but for me, not really. It was just more of a like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to play at the next level, show them what I could do.
Do you feel like the team is pretty refreshed? Do they have a new kind of mindset after the bye week, after a loss? Are you guys is it a brand new season for you guys kind of?
Oh yeah, always like after every game, it's a brand new game. We never look back at what like we did last game, except for that film day. But it's a new day, new week every single time. So it's just a refreshed mind.
How the quarterbacks looked?
They look good. They look good.
So has Mark been out there a lot with the ones?
That's his question for Coach Ferentz.
Nice job, man. Two freshmen to answer that well. Good job.
How about Xavier? Maybe someone asked you about this with Xavier Williams. It looked like he's back in the depth chart. How does he?
Yeah,
Xavier. Is
Xavier.
it nice to get him back, I guess?
Yeah, it's very nice to get him back because you know how he's been playing. He's playing very, very good. So like, for him to be back, it's just more depth at the running back, and that we could play better, more people.
All right. What's the bye week look like for Aaron Graves?
Just a lot of relaxing, kind of trying to get the body right, trying to feel better going into this week. Yeah, it wasn't too stressful, which was nice.
Is it honestly tough to shake off a loss like Indiana? I mean, knowing that you have to go into bye week and there's a lot more time to sit with it like that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, after we watch the film on it, we typically never really mention it again. I mean, obviously there's things that you have to work on, but we see that in practice every day. So the themes of kind of things that we need to work on, the fundamentals, don't really change. So I'd say like after the game, 24-hour rule, we don't really dwell on it too long. So.
Looks like Harrell's out this week. Is it? What's the difference having a new linebacker call out stuff for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting comfortable in practice, hearing the call, being confident in what you're saying, being loud about it. I think Jamon's done a really good job of that, so I'm excited to see what he has in store for us.
He's your class, right?
Yep.
He's a fourth-year guy. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, really nice guy, vocal leader, I would say, really hard worker. Yeah, I mean, kind of a classic Iowa football player. Yeah.
How did you spend a rare Saturday off? Did you watch the Wisconsin-Michigan game?
Yeah, I actually went to my wife's hometown, watched her little brother play on Friday night, and then we kind of just hung out and came back on Saturday. So I really didn't even watch that much football, honestly. Kind of just wanted to get away from it for a little bit, kind of just regroup mentally.
Go ahead. How much do you think a bye week can help this team right now?
Yeah, I think a lot. Just with injuries and everybody's feeling banged up, everybody across the country is at this point in the season. So just having that extra time to kind of regroup and heal up and feel better going into the next block that we have.
With the defense, is there just a sense of finding consistency? Because you look at Rutgers and you're probably thinking that wasn't great. But then you look at Indiana and you held one of the best offenses in the country, way below their averages. Is that kind of maybe the theme right now, finding that middle ground consistency?
Yeah, I would say Yeah, I mean consistency, but it's not in the sense of like, oh, we didn't do as well against Rutgers, but we did better against Indiana, so we just need to like be better this week. It's more just like consistency in how we practice every single day, and how we like approach our work and everything. So yeah, consistency in that aspect of just like come ready to go and try and get a little better every single day.
At this stage in your life, what's it like to go back to a game on a Friday night? I mean, is it nostalgia?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a big rivalry game. I guess that game that I went to had been going on for like over 100 years. It was in Illinois. That's where she's from, suburbs of Chicago. So bit different environment than my high school. A little bigger, more people there. So that was fun to see.
KF said that you guys really need to work on missed tackling, improving on tackling. I know during its season, I'm sure it's kind of tough to do that, but during a bye week, were you able to do any live reps or anything to work on that tackling?
No, I mean, we're not going to do any live reps during the bye week. It's kind of time for like rest and trying to get your body recovered. So we weren't doing any like live tackling during the bye week, but I mean, we do tackle circuit every single day that we have pads on in practice. So it's definitely an emphasis that we have every day, and even just going against scouts. If we're not, we're not like tackling to the ground, but wrapping up and running your feet after contact is definitely something that we work on consistently.
I don't know if we've had a chance to talk to you since you were named a semifinalist for the Campbell Trophy. I know that guys don't always set out to win awards, things like that in college, but was that something that you thought about, just knowing your academic and your football background?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really think about it, honestly, not really, but very honored to be up for that award and excited.
Did you know the Wisconsin players have been doing 42 push-ups like after practice and all that?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have heard that.
What do you think of that?
It's interesting. I mean, every team has their thing, I guess. Yeah, I don't really think about it too much, I guess.
I guess it shows that they've got you guys circled, though.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a point for us this week. I mean, we got to approach it just like it's a Big Ten game and a trophy game at that on the road. It's going to be a hostile environment, so I mean, we would be fools to show up and expect it not to be tough. It's going to be a tough environment. We got to be ready to go when we get there.
How do you prepare for a tough environment like that when it's a trophy game or rival?
Yeah, I mean, really just like any other week, but just making sure that like when we get there on Saturday that we're ready to go. I mean, the preparation throughout the week needs to be able to take over on Saturday so we can just play fast. But, I mean, you win during the week, and we say that a lot, but you also need to be ready to go when the ball is snapped on Saturday. So that's a big point for us as well.
How do you lock in?
I mean, everybody has their own routine. I don't like to listen to music like too far away because I'll like get too amped up before the game. So I would say like 30 minutes before, like when we come back in after the warm-up, that's when I really start to psych myself up for it. And then the swarm always gets me going. So
coaches always talk about, if you can steal road games, get on the road and steal some road wins. After this, you got 3 home games in a row. So it's kind of a big opportunity for you guys to, steal a road game. You guys look at that and saying, hey, this is a good opportunity for us to kind of get back on track, and we got some big ones coming up after this.
Yeah, absolutely, and kind of alluded to it, but it is a big game. I mean, night game, trophy game. They've been doing the 42 push-ups, all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of energy and excitement that's going to go into this game. So to get a win on the road at Wisconsin's always tough, and so to get a win there would be really good for the momentum of our team.
What's your music lineup when you're trying to get amped up before a game?
A lot of like rock, Eminem too. Yeah.
What about night game? You guys got the night game routine down by now, right?
Yeah, I know. It's like our fourth one out of 5, right? Yeah, I know.
State?
Yeah, they're all night games now, I guess. It's good for TV, I suppose. But yeah, we got the routine down now for that, so should be ready to go.
What's the key though, to a successful night game?
Yeah, we do our meetings in the morning, Saturday, whereas if it was like an 11 o'clock game or 2 o'clock game, we do Friday night. So it kind of breaks up the day in that aspect. That way we're not just sitting in the hotel for the entire day, just kind of thinking about the game. So we get our meetings done, then we have a little break after that where we kind of just relax and don't play the game before the game starts, and then we get into our normal routine.
Good.
What's a bye week look like for Koen Entringer?
The bye week, man, it was just a great opportunity to, look at the film, look at the 5 games we played, and just, refine the skills, refine my, the details, the little things, whether that's tackling, having my eyes in the right spot, having my eyes at the right spot, man on the hip, locked in, things like that. And then, just opportunity for the young guys to step up and improve.
I know Graves was saying he went back to his wife's hometown for a high school game. Did you get a chance to leave the town, leave the state or anything?
Yeah, I left the state. My girlfriend, she's from Nebraska, so, went home, got to see her for a little bit. So it was cool.
What part of Nebraska?
She's from Papillion. Yeah.
Husker country?
It's Iowa country, so that's the good part, yeah.
When you look at how you guys played against Indiana, maybe one of your better defensive performances, how do you carry that over and take that momentum on the road?
Yeah. I think the game in Indiana that was the toughness and the effort that we needed. I think just the biggest difference maker in that game was just the details. And I think Wisconsin's a great football team. They're physical, they're tough, and that's what this game's going to come down to. Just the details, the little things, and just playing just relentless effort together every single time.
Can you give us some examples of that? What do details look like on film that you got to adjust?
Yeah, I think the details, when it comes to just tackling, having your eyes in the right spot, I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to making the tackles. And I think, in the red zone, having the details, making sure we're in the best coverage. And then, the details, even in man coverage, having your eyes locked in on the hip, not, raising your eyes, looking at the receiver's head or whatnot. And then, the other details of, just being on the same page. I think that's the most important thing, and just having, great communication, whatever the coverage is, having all 11 guys, on the same page, kind of like having our brains connected,
When you guys are not doing live reps of tackling in practice, is it challenging to work on that, or is it more of a mental thing for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's, it just comes down to just your approach. You don't have to obviously bring the guy to the ground, but, you can sprint all the way, to the point and put yourself in position like you would. And I think, it just comes, start that on Monday, then you carry it over to Tuesday, and you carry it over to Wednesday. And, if you do that every single practice, every single rep, just gives you a chance to be more successful on Saturday.
Looks like Jaden Harrell's out this week. Can you tell us about Jaden Montgomery, what you've seen out of him?
Yeah, Jaden Montgomery, man, I remember we came in, our freshman year, and I was like, that's a guy who got his stuff together. And, J-Mont, he's a great guy. He's a great leader. He was voted on the Leadership Council. So I think that just goes to show just the type of human being he is. And he just works tremendously hard every single day. And I'm just excited just to take the field with him. I know he's going to maximize this opportunity, and I tell him, man, what better opportunity to be able to get your first career start, in your hometown of Wisconsin. So I'm excited to take the field with him. And I know all the other 10 guys who are out there on defense are excited to play with him. He's a hard worker, and I don't think we'll miss a beat.
What is something that, like you talk about seeing him early, and you could kind of tell he was a guy. Is there something specific that you see in him or in anybody that kind of tells you that?
Yeah, I think he's just a hard worker, and he does the little things right. He's focused on on the details. He's always taking care of his body. He's not a guy who's ever missing weight or late to anything. He's a guy who just shows up every single day with the right attitude and the right energy and the right effort every single time.
When you look at the opportunity after the game, it seemed like post game you were a little hard on yourself against Indiana. Does a bye week kind of allow yourself to give you some grace? Does it allow you to refresh your mind and kind of restart the season a little bit?
Yeah. I try and give myself, Coach Ferentz is a 24-hour rule. I try to give myself like a real hour rule. I can be mad about it, but eventually, the game's over. You can't really do much about it. And so that's kind of how I try and look at it. I can be pissed about what happened during the game, but at the end of the day, you got to move on and worry about the next opponent, which is Wisconsin.
When you look at the opportunity, obviously a road game with Wisconsin, the next three after that are at Kinnick. Do you guys kind of think in your head, hey, we got a big opportunity here to get a road win, and kind of really build on this season of what's ahead of us?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just focused on this game. Playing Wisconsin, and trying to beat them. It's a trophy game, and I'm just worried about going there and taking care of business. I think that's the first step that we got to take care of.
It's another night road game for you guys. What did you kind of learn about yourself going on the road at night against Rutgers, and how fun are those environments?
Yeah, at this point, man, we're just the Nighthawks playing all these night games. So, I'm just trying to, I don't get to pick when we get to play, but, it's like high school Friday Night Lights, Can't play the game before it starts, but, I'm excited. The night games have the great energy, the great atmosphere, and, I tell my dad this every single week, sometimes you got to pinch yourself, because I remember being a kid on Saturday, watching the games, you just dream of, being in those situations and scenarios, and now you get to live them. So most importantly, you just got to maximize the opportunity and enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe go ahead, Jack.
Wisconsin's got a little different than they were 5-6 years ago. What do you see on film that still stands out as something to watch?
Yeah, I mean, they're Wisconsin. They're gonna have those big physical guys. They got a great strength and conditioning program. The toughness is gonna be there. The physicality is gonna be there. They have a new offensive coordinator, so some of their plays are kind of like the old, Wisconsin with Coach Christ. The game's gonna come down to the attitude, the effort, and the toughness. So, that's what better game do you want to be in,
Speaking of pinching yourself, just tell me what it's like to be a captain for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
It's surreal. I think just to be voted by my peers, to know that they think so highly of me, I think that's a great feeling. I never dreamed of being an Iowa captain. I think I always thought of it something in the back of my mind that could happen, but just the fact that my teammates think so highly of me, I think it's just a great honor, and I just try my best to be the best captain I can and just the best teammate.
You talked about the relationship with your dad a little bit, but who was the first person you told the first time that you were going to be named captain? Was he the first one, your girlfriend, or who did you talk to?
Might have been my girlfriend. Yeah, I think I told her. Yeah, and I was originally like, damn, I didn't. I just thought when KF first said that in the team meeting, I was like, wow. I thought of so many other people who I thought, could have been captain or should have been captain, and then, I kind of had to think about it, and it's just, this is what my team asked me to do. This is the role they see me having, and every single time I get announced captain every week, I just think of the greatest captain I ever saw, which is Jack Campbell, and just how he prepared. And the type of person he was, and just the amazing teammate he was. I think Jack Campbell's the greatest teammate I think I've ever been around, and every single time I've been voted captain, I just strive to prepare and be the teammate he was.
What do you do that is maybe similar to Jack, or how do you see him and yourself, I guess, at this point now that you're a captain?
Yeah, I don't know if I can compare myself to him at all. He's my Iowa greatest player, so I can't compare myself to him in any way.
Okay, there's something I don't know about the captains. I've noticed you guys have a different little bumper plate up here. What is that?
I think it's just like a H. I'm not exactly sure. It's just I think it just is just an H, yeah.
For Hawkeyes?
I think for Hawkeyes or something, yeah.
What made Jack such a great captain? And what can you try to emulate?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the biggest thing is I remember just coming in as a freshman. You're on scout team. You kind of just feel like you're just just a nobody, I guess. And I think the biggest thing is he made me feel like a somebody. And there's a few times when the defense got done with practice early. The scout team defense competing against the offense, and he was cheering us all on. And he knew every single person's name on the defense. And I remember too when he came back. This was after he'd gotten drafted for the Lions, and I just asked him I got a few questions about the defense. And I remember he sat with me, and he's got his own stuff figured out. He just got drafted, trying to figure out where he's trying to live, and trying to figure out the Lions defense, being a rookie and everything. And he took time out of his day, his busy schedule, and just took some time just to share with me. And I'm just internally appreciative of him, and I'm just so just thankful to have him as a teammate. And I'm a Lions fan, so every single time I watch him win, I'm excited. So
What do you see from their different quarterbacks? They've had 3 guys play this year.
Yeah, I mean, all their quarterbacks are capable. I've seen number 18, he's a good runner. Number 9, he played a little bit, the transfer from Maryland, and he's a great quarterback too. And then the new guy they've been playing on, number 15, he's really good at throwing the ball. He's a big guy. So, whoever's out there, that's going to be the challenge. And we just got to compete and give our best.